Welcome to the Daily Thunder podcast. I'm your host, Brandon Rabar, beat writer for dailythunder.com. Every week, we will have guests ranging from national sports writers and local reporters to OKC celebrities and Thunder staff and players. This week, I'm excited. Our featured guest is Anna Horford, host of the Horford Happy Hour podcast, sister to Thunder center Al Horford, and now my all-time favorite Horford sibling. Welcome to the Daily Thunder podcast. I'm your host, beat writer for dailythunder.com, Brandon Rabar. I am joined by my co-host, Olivia Punchall, senior writer for dailythunder.com. Hey, Olivia.
Hey, how's it going?
I am good. I'm pumped because we're joined today. I'm excited about this guest. I follow her on Twitter, and I got to say I was pumped when she started following me on Twitter. I felt like I made it, mama. We're joined by Anna Horford, and she is the host of the Horford Happy Hour podcast, and she is the sister to Thunder center Al Horford. Now, is it big sister or little sister, Anna?
I am the little sister. Al is the oldest of the Horford children.
All right. So was he a good bigger brother to you? Like from being very little? You know, we see this. He seems like such a great high character dude, but how was he as a big brother growing up?
Yeah, no, he was great. I joke about how like every team he's on, he takes on the role of like the team dad. And he was pretty much, there are 5 of us. So he was pretty much like the team dad of like the siblings growing up. So yeah, he's very much like taken on that role his entire life for sure.
So basically you guys gave him the practice he needed to become this great NBA role model and dad to all these young Thunder players, right?
Yeah, basically I'm the reason he's so great. So you're welcome.
You should absolutely take credit for all of his accomplishments. That makes sense.
Yes, absolutely.
Anna, thank you for joining us. I really am excited about this because you're well known on social media and Twitter, and I love your takes. I love seeing what you have to say. But also, for those that don't know, the podcast that you host, you get into some pretty deep dives on some serious stuff. Mental health, race, politics, religion. You cover everything. Tell us about your podcast, how we can listen, and just all the things that you do.
Yeah, so my podcast is called Horford Happy Hour. I am with the CLNS Media Network in Boston, and they signed me a few years ago when I had spoken with one of their media personalities about wanting to start my own podcast. And they were like, well, how about you just join our network? And this was when Al was back on the Celtics. So it seemed like a really good fit. And the network's amazing. They give me free reign. So I can swear, we can talk about sex, we can talk about, you know, the racy, juicy stuff. And they love my unfiltered opinions, which is like really great for me because I don't have to like obviously filter myself or hold back at all. And so, yeah, it's been going really, really well. I'm a few seasons in. I just did a 5-part mini series on taboo topics before the new year. And that was really fun. I had a new guest on every week. We drink during the podcast, which is fun. And that also helps me be my most authentic, unfiltered self. So I try a new kind of wine or champagne every week that I can introduce to listeners, let you know if I like it or if I don't. They're also like very cost friendly. And they're just, you can pick them up at pretty much any store in the States. So yeah, I have fun with it. It's been, a really cool journey. And I've had a lot of support, which is amazing. And I'm looking forward to the future, hopefully doing another mini series here soon. And I can be found on iTunes, all podcasting platforms, pretty much, the CLNS Media Network in Boston. It's been really, really great.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of your podcast. It was the wine pairing that did it for me. So our listeners all know that I'm like the connoisseur of wines at Daily Thunder. And you actually recommended one of my favorite wines. I think it was on the women empowerment episode. It was the Francis Coppola red blend. I like the red blend
Ooh.
and I like the Malbec. Those are both two of my favorites. And so after that, I was like, okay, this girl knows what's up. This podcast is legit. So became a big fan ever since.
I love hearing that. And the Francis Coppola line in general is so good.
Yes, it is.
And it won't break the bank, but at the same time, like it's a good glass of wine.
Yeah, it's one of my go-tos at Target. It's a good one.
Love it. Love it.
I don't know anything about wine, but I love the Godfather movie. So I actually bought some Francis Ford Coppola wine for my wife and I. She loved it. I wasn't a big fan, but I felt like I was supporting the Godfather director. So I was happy about that.
There you go.
Can I ask you a quick question? Do you have a wine pairing recommendation for Thunder games for our listeners?
Oh my gosh. Well, I think it depends on how wrecked you want to get. So
yeah. I mean, I think either way, if we're losing, you're going to want to drink some wine. If it's going really well and the Thunder are mounting a 20-point comeback, you want to drink some wine. So I think, what's your best recommendation?
I really love, if we're celebrating or if we're in the playoffs and we're just feeling sexy, I just feel like some La Marca Prosecco is amazing. It won't give you a headache. It's really nice. It's not super expensive, but it doesn't taste cheap at all. So that's a fun one. And then also I really love, are you familiar with the line, the Josh line?
Yeah, I am. Josh Cellars. Yep.
Yep. So I love them as well. And that's good for if you want a good glass of wine, but you're just chilling,
Okay. We'll have to check that out.
Now, Anna, I wanted to welcome you officially to Thunder Fandom. I feel like from our perspective, most of the players that come here really, it's a small market, but they tend to end up falling in love with the city and the fans because the fans are so passionate and they tend to be a little bit warmer and loving to the players, all players, than maybe some other cities in the NBA. So I wanted to discuss with you, how have OKC fans embraced Al and you, both of you, maybe compared to your last stop in Philly?
This is what everyone wants to hear about. They just want the juice. That's it. And I'm here to give it to you. It's fine. So OKC has been so amazing, so welcoming. I know that people say because I'm from the Midwest, people are like, oh, people from the Midwest are so friendly and they, please and thank you and hold doors and stuff. It's there's got to be something in the water in Oklahoma because people are so friendly. And I don't know if it's just in stark contrast to Philly, but everyone has been so nice, so excited to have Al in our family. No negativity. They've really embraced us. And so we've embraced them. And I've been getting a lot of Sixers fans who are feeling super salty, well, why do you like OKC if, Al's barely been there and you didn't like us and, he was here for a whole season and blah, blah, blah. Well, at the same time, OKC people aren't telling me to go kill myself or calling me derogatory terms. So that's why I like Oklahoma better. Philly,
a very low bar, but I'm glad that we cleared that for you.
It is. I mean, it was a low bar, but you guys have just exceeded expectations. Everyone's been super cool and Philly, they're just, even their own fans will admit, they are just so negative and they probably wouldn't use the word toxic, but I'm going to use the word toxic. And just so horrible to their own players. Even now still, I still see people talking trash about Ben and stuff. And I'm just sitting over here feeling so bad. And so, yeah, it's been a completely different experience.
Well, that's great to hear. And we truly are happy to have your brother and you and the whole family here in OKC. So that is really cool to hear that it goes both ways.
We also know that you recently became an aunt, not for the first time, right? So how many nieces and nephews do you have now?
So this will be the fourth, and it's Al's fourth. He's the only one to have had kids. I'm like not a kid person, but I love my nieces and nephews.
They're very cute.
Kids to me are just like sticky and weird, but like I love the ones I'm related to. They're amazing, adorable. So Al has a little boy and then 3 little girls. And so he just had Nova, my newest niece. And yeah, it's been amazing having a new little addition to the family.
Have you had the opportunity to meet her yet? I know with COVID, these things can be kind of difficult, but have you met her?
Not in person, which
really
sucks.
Yeah, that does suck.
Traveling right now sucks. I'm in Michigan. So are our other siblings. Al's, obviously in Oklahoma, and they have been so cautious with COVID as well. Like, because they have so many little kids, like they're like all under 5. So like they've been so cautious. And so when it's safe, we'll definitely all get together. I'm getting married this year. So is my younger sister. And so we're hoping that everyone will be able to be together at the weddings this summer. So
congratulations. I hope so too. That'll be exciting.
Yeah. Congrats. That's awesome to hear. So speaking of your family, let's talk about you guys. The Horford royal family, Dominican, American, global, universal, NBA, Miss Universe, media domination with you. Al probably could be a media star as well, just seeing how he is in interviews, or maybe a volleyball pro. Where does all this excellence come from in the Horford family, and how do we get a piece of that?
I don't know, man. Maybe it's in the water or something. If I figure it out, I will let you in on the secret. Just like genetics, we all just ended up being like super tall, weirdly athletic people. I don't know. Obviously my sister-in-law is gorgeous. She was Miss Universe, and they've got gorgeous kids, and the boys in the family all have like the whole basketball thing. Our dad played. So yeah, it's just kind of like a family thing, family tradition.
Do you have any slackers in your family, or just like the rest of you are like all excelling and there's just one of you, like the Peyton Manning family, there's always that brother that gets made fun of because he's not doing anything? Is there any slackers?
Oh, we totally make fun of each other. Like everyone gets a turn at getting made fun of. I'm the middle child, so I feel like I get made fun of a lot, especially because I'm very like I'm typically girly, and like I like doing my hair and makeup, and I like dressing well, and like all the other siblings like could just wear basketball shorts and like go play, a pickup game somewhere, and I'm like, no. So I think that I'm quite different from them in that aspect. But yeah, no, I mean, we all have our own things going. Our little brother has a clothing line, Advanced Apathy. Our little sister is an amazing photographer, Maria. And then I've got my podcast. Our brother John played D1 at Michigan and Florida, and then he played in the G League. And obviously Al has played professionally for 1 million years. So yeah, we all have our own thing going. We're all really busy, and all really supportive of each other, which is really, really great. So yeah.
It's fantastic.
That's good. That's so good to hear. You alluded earlier to how Horford kind of gives off, he has dad vibes. And a lot of his teammates have referred to him as their favorite teammate, including Jason Tatum. All of our young Thunder players all adore him. So what is it about Al that makes him such a good teammate and someone that players want to play with?
I think he's just steady. Like he's steady, he's reliable. He's been in the game for so long. He's a great, veteran to look up to. Al, this is going to sound like so dorky, but he doesn't club. He doesn't party. He doesn't drink. He doesn't do any, he doesn't smoke weed. He doesn't do any drugs. Like he's very much like, hey guys, want to go home and play Monopoly after the game? Like we're all like, I want to go to the club. And he's like, how about some Uno? So it's like very like wholesome. So yeah, I think he's just reliable. He's just someone that the young guys can really look up to. He's like always down to give advice because he's learned so much about being in the league. And I think like that kind of candor is really important to young players who are still trying to find their way. And I think he's just so like I said, such a steady presence for them.
Yeah, that's exactly the type of personality that we love in our players in Oklahoma City. There are no clubs to go to, so that's perfect for us. And that's the kind of like role model that we want for our young players too. You know, we want them to be responsible and to be motivated and to be passionate about the game. And I feel like Al Horford really, he brings that out not only in himself, but in his teammates as well. And I think we all appreciate that.
And speaking of those young players, you know, Al's been on a Celtics team that was a great team. I mean, that was a title contending team. Then the 76ers, despite their hiccups, they had a lot of talent and they had title aspirations. What's it like cheering for Al now on a younger Thunder team? I mean, this is a team that, you know, traded away, Russell Westbrook and Chris Paul and all these guys. So the Thunder in the middle of a rebuild, but more competitive than thought because of Al and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, you know, taking the lead. George Hill has been great. The Thunder have a lot of talent, but it's young talent. So it's kind of a different type of team setup than he's been on. So what's it been like kind of cheering for a younger team now with Al?
Yeah, so I mean, it's good. I think that this team, obviously, like you said, they're a young team, but they're fun to watch. There's lots of talent, there's lots of potential. And I think Al knows that. And I don't know if you guys can tell, but like the way Al is like this season compared to last, he's just more of himself because he's playing the way that he thrives in this position. He thrives playing this way. He thrives this team environment. And I think he's just grateful to be somewhere that really embraces his style of play. And I think that he is very comfortable being the person that people can look to, or like, you know, if we need a clutch shot, he's wanting and willing to step up, which I think is really, really important. And yeah, we're young, but like at the same time, I think he looks at it as like another day at the office. We're going to play the best that we can. We're going to get done. And because that's what we're here to do. And so yeah, it's been good.
That's good. Yeah. And I've said this to other people, and I think it's worth repeating now. Al Horford's a 5-time NBA All-Star. I mean, this is an elite level player. And you have Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who's taken this leap to near all-stardom himself. So I don't know how Philly messed it up is what I'm trying to say here. like when you look at how Al was, what the position he was put in last year, and then seeing how he's playing this year. You know, you talked about him being more himself this year. You know, when you see the chemistry between Shai and Al Horford and what they're able to accomplish with the starting unit and how much Al Horford has thrived, you know, it's a given. First quarter, Shai and Al, they're going to hook up for like 15 points back and forth. Al's going to hit a bunch of threes. I just don't know how Philly screwed that up, to be quite honest.
It was
Al
a terrible fit.
Okay.
Yeah, no, sorry. It was a terrible fit. Their team had so much talent. They were exploding with talent, but between coaching and the different roles that every guy was trying to play, it doesn't matter how talented a team was, like, unless you have LeBron James or something, like, you're just not going to win games. You're not going to gel. You're not going to produce. And like, you could tell, like, their chemistry was just off. They didn't know how to play with each other. And it impacted everybody. But Al obviously took the majority of the scrutiny because he signed the giant contract, you know, that led to him being on the team. And he knows that that's part of the deal. Like, he knows that that's part of the game. Al barely looks on social media. He's barely ever on social media, and he ignores a lot of that stuff. But at the same time, like, they were just so brutal. So yeah, it was a tricky situation.
Yeah, that's a perfect lead into my next question, actually. So you just mentioned Al Horford's barely ever on social media. And I think that players are really used to this kind of negativity, and they've kind of, become immune to it over time. But what's it like being a family member, having to see people say these things about your family or even about you and about your podcast, and even about stuff that's like completely unrelated to basketball and Al Horford? I just have to imagine that's really difficult as a family member to have to deal with that.
It's like exhausting. So it's really exhausting. And to constantly feel like you have to defend someone, like to you guys, it probably just looks like, oh, there she goes again, like riding her brother's coattails or like whatever. But it's like, no, I would do this for any of my siblings. I'm very protective. Don't mess with my family because I'll come for you. And like, it's just one of those things where you try to ignore the majority of it. But like when someone crosses a line, it's just almost impossible to ignore. Like when you get death threats or rape threats, or like people are just saying racist things or just horrible things about your family, like at a certain point, like anyone would break and be like, hey, enough is enough. And I feel like I really like try to get this across to people. When I respond to like someone on Twitter or whatever, that is like the 100th comment I've seen. Like I don't respond to everything, like, but there are certain comments and certain people or certain times where I just really feel like a clapback is warranted. And a lot of people have like learned not to like with me or my mentions. Sorry that I said the F word. But like, it's just, it's very frustrating, and you just constantly feel like, you know, you're playing defense. So yeah.
I hope that you aren't getting any of that from Thunder fans, and I hope they're listening to this and they understand that, you know, players' families are on social media too, and they see these things, and it's hard for them to just ignore it. Actually, one of our favorite followers is Mike Muscala's dad, Bob Muscala. He's a big fan of Daily Thunder, and we're a big fan of him. But it does remind us to be conscious that everything that we say on social media, anytime we criticize a player, the players probably aren't even the ones that are looking at it. It's usually, you know, family. And so I hope everyone that's listening to this podcast, the Thunder fans, are conscious of that going forward, because it's totally unnecessary.
Totally. And you know, they would never say it to the player's face.
Yeah.
Like the same people calling Al names, like if he walked by them, would be like, can I have your autograph?
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
So it's very frustrating.
Yeah, and I would absolutely not try to start a fight with Al Horford, because he's enormous and could definitely take you.
Yeah, I don't care if he wants to sit at home and play Uno all night. That man is still he will mess you up. So last question, speaking of Al Horford and, you know, his image, you talked about, you know, how he doesn't go clubbing and he gives dad vibes. Is there anything that comes to your head that kind of goes against his button-up image, like whether some weird story or quirk or anything that our listeners don't know about Al, that you think is just kind of a funny thing about your brother?
Man, you put me on the spot here.
I am. And if you don't have anything, we'll just edit this out.
I can't think. He's like the ultimate professional, to the point where like if he was your sibling, you'd be like, all right, enough. Like you're making us look really bad. So just maybe stop. Like, if you asked me about any other sibling, I would have a story, but Al is just, he's pretty put together. Like what you see is what you get. He goes to work. He comes home to his kids that he adores and is best friends with, and like his beautiful wife. And that's about it.
Was he like that?
Answer, though. I mean, that's great though. I mean, what you see is what you get. He's the real deal.
Right. Was he like that in college too, even at Florida, or is that kind of something that he started when he came to the league?
Okay, in Florida, I mean, everyone's like, when you're in college, you're in college. Yeah. I was really young when he was in college, like when he was with the Gators, but at the same time, that was the best team in the nation. They won 2 back-to-back national championships. Yeah. So they walked around campus like they were gods. Like, I'm not going to lie. Like, they thought their didn't stink. You know, they're like young guys on college campus. So nothing like out of the ordinary, just like typical college experience, I would say.
I'm just trying to imagine Al at a frat party in a bro tank. But
I think he was the one. He was the one who like was like looking after his friends, really, like Joe and Noah and Corey Brewer and like Torian Green and stuff. Like just kind of like looking out for everyone, really.
Always with the dad vibes.
Yeah, like he's told me like at high school parties, because we would talk about like partying, like when we were younger. Like he wouldn't party and he'd be the one who would like answer the door when the cops came. Like, you know, so yeah, that's just the kind of guy he is.
That's good.
The last question I have, I know that Al is really close to Billy Donovan, speaking of Florida, and there were lots of rumors, and I believe Al even confirmed it himself that he was interested in coming to Oklahoma City back in 2016 if Kevin Durant would have re-signed and stayed. And then I think every Thunder fan, after hearing that, the thought of Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, Al Horford, Steven Adams, and Victor Oladipo. I mean, Thunder fans think about that. I think still to this day, what could have been had Al signed in 2016, had KD stayed. And I think that's another like salt in the wound from KD leaving. Because not only would the Thunder have been a title contender if he stayed and didn't go to the Warriors and mess up the entire NBA, but the Thunder would have had Al Horford too to go along with those guys. I don't know how much you want to get into it, but can you confirm or deny if you think that is true?
Well, first of all, okay. I had my own selfish reasons for wanting Al to go to OKC. And it was because like for years I had like this secret crush on Steven Adams.
Who doesn't?
Right? Like Khal Drogo, like, oh my God.
You're not alone.
Yeah. So so I had like the biggest crush on him, and like Al knew about it. My dad knew about it. And I was always like, hey, how about you slip my number to Steven Adams, you know? And I'm not someone who like ever dates athletes. Like athletes have been in my DMs, like they still do it. Like I've never been into athletes, and I secretly like he just seems like the coolest dude. Yeah. He seems like so amazing. So I had personal reasons. I wanted him to secretly go to OKC. It really was like between OKC and Boston. As far as I know, like he did really, really think about going to OKC, and it just ended up not working out. He obviously ended up with the Celtics. He had a lot of really great offers, but he loves Billy. And I mean, yeah, what could have been? That's like the big question. I feel like that team could have been amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it didn't end up working out that way. But they were definitely up there.
That's good to hear. I mean, that to me, that's the easy title favorite had he come. And, you know, maybe you're with Steven Adams right now too, although you're getting married. So I guess it worked out for everybody.
Okay, but I guess you're engaged. So you're fine. But I was going to say, how upset were you that Al Horford coming to Oklahoma City meant that Steven Adams had to go?
If I were single when that happened, I would have just stopped watching basketball altogether. Like I just would have been so annoyed because my whole family knew about my secret little crush for like years.
Yeah.
And yeah. So yeah, that was funny.
So is there anything we'd like to end the podcast with as far as anything you'd like to promote, anything that you have coming up that you'd like people to listen to or watch or anything like that?
I would just say, so I have my podcast, Horford Happy Hour, on iTunes, all podcasting platforms. But then also our brother John actually has a podcast coming out as well on the CLNS Media Network called the Blueprint Athletes Basketball Podcast. And he has a Blueprint Athletes Basketball app where John played for Billy Donovan at Florida as well. He played for John Beeline at Michigan. He basically has taken everything he's learned under these amazing coaches and has put it into an app for athletes. So, and it's for beginners to, you know, people trying to go D1. So it's the Blueprint Athletes Basketball Podcast and app. So I would like to throw that out there.
Fantastic.
Such a good sister.
She is a great sister. You support your brother so well. That is fantastic. And thank you so much for joining us. That you're a fantastic guest. We've had some NBA players on here and coaches and NBA analysis, and I'll take you over all of them. Thank you.
Oh.
I absolutely, you were a lot of fun. Thank you for joining us today, and thank you so much for listening to the Daily Thunder podcast. Perfect. Seriously, I mean,
I was gonna slip in there. Thank you for popping my OKC interview cherry, because you guys are the first ones that I've taken as an interview.
We appreciate it.
Thank you for listening and for supporting the Daily Thunder podcast. You can follow our guest, Anna Horford, at Anna Horford, and you can follow me at Brandon Rabar as I cover the Thunder beat. If you subscribe to our Patreon at patreon.com/Daily Thunder, you'll receive early access to Daily Thunder content, including bonus podcast segments, the exclusive weekend edition newsletter, and other perks like free shirts, special pricing at local businesses, and more. This podcast is produced by Rachel Jameson. You can follow her, questionable, at Rachel Jameson. Send your questions and feedback to dailythunder@gmail.com and stay on dailythunder.com every day to catch the latest Thunder news, recaps, analysis, interviews, and all kinds of nonsense.